Hello, welcome to my defensive wall and orb viper setup guide. All of these setups will have pros and cons, but I'll walk through why I like to use them. These videos take a long time to make, so please like if you learned something. Quick disclaimer, if you see my fuel not running out, it's because I'm using a glitch where if you fall out of your map with your utility up, it will stay up forever. Offensive setups video will be out in a week or two after my next montage featuring double lineups with Brim and Viper, and also rat pits versus some pretty famous streamers. Some of these setups I'll just showcase an orb or a wall, and some of them I'll showcase both. Without further ado, here's the guide. So our first setup is going to be on Ascent A, and it looks like this. The orb is going to be for any cat pushes, and you can hold this from tree, garden, or site. This wall is going to be for A main and top mid. With this wall, the attacker has to swing through it 3 times in order to get to site, and you can also use it to lurk to get into line. If the attacker hops onto these boxes, he can't see anything until he swings out a bit over here. This fight is quite easy to isolate for as long as you don't overexpose. For your wall lineup, you want to come into this corner and aim your blue line in the left side of this box and top mid. For your one way, you want to come into this circle over here somewhere in the middle and look at the bottom point of this lamp and do a jump right click. Bazinga! Now if you like to use your wall somewhere else, you can come over to the right side of this lamp, look at this black line and a bit down, and your orb will get stuck over here. With this one way, anyone who's coming out of A main cannot see their left side. I'd suggest playing anywhere near tree, switch, or Jenny. You can also set up a crazy crossfire with someone on concrete. Now if you don't like holding cat, maybe you'll like this one way. Come into this corner over here and look at the middle right side of this rectangle. Your new setup will look like this. Over on the B side, our setup is going to look somewhat like this. This wall will cover a little bit of B main, but its main purpose is mid. This wall is very strong for as long as you have 2 players, 1 watching tiles and 1 watching top cat. Thank you to my YouTube chat a long time ago for helping me find this orb. You want to come into this corner, look at this line over here right into the middle, and just do a left click. For your wall, you want to come to the square over here and look at the right side of this box and top mid. Now if you like one ways and a lot of mid control, you can come into this corner and look at the left side of this brick thing over here, line it up with your crosshair and just left click. With this one way, the attackers absolutely cannot see a thing as they cross over from mid. Split A, what is this crazy stupid looking setup? This wall once again makes the attacker have to go through it 3 separate times. As they go through, they have to expose themselves to new angles and be decayed at the same time. Finally, going through the last wall, they are faced with this orb with a lot of cheeky off angles. This orb is like the icing on top to a super toxic and annoying setup. You can play this headshot angle right here. You can also play in the usual corner over here. Of course, you can play up here and watch the cross. But also on eco rounds, you can hide in hell or in your smoke, or push up to over here and play with the shotgun. For your wall lineup, come into heaven over here into this corner, and then try to clip the 3 corners you see on the minimap over here. For your orb, come over here, drop down to hell, and then aim your orb where there's this X with this shadow and these lines. And yeah, your setup is going to look weird. Here's a cool one way. Come into this corner and use the left side of your right HUD and aim it on the bottom right of the silver here. Do a left click. And this is a really cheeky one way. It looks bad, but no one can actually see you up here. Great for info, will probably get you a kill. Oh yeah, here's your generic retake A wall. Come into this corner, look in between the white and the blue. This wall is hard to swing through as an attacker, and if you do get on site, now you're kind of trapped and they can retake easy. Split B, you want to come into this corner over here and look at this right triangle. You want to throw your orb at the right corner in this triangle. This will make a one way that's good for anywhere to the left of it. This includes site over here, close, hell, heaven, and rafters. There's also this cheeky little off angle right here. If you don't like that one, stand in this corner by this barrier over here and look anywhere along this black line. Do a simple left click. It will look like so. Everyone and their dog knows some variation of this one. I use the right side of my left HUD and aim it slightly above this corner of this triangle. And yeah, very generic. Fracture A is another weird looking one. You're gonna have a one-way over by sand, and you're going to have this wall that almost looks like it helps the enemy team get into sight. This of course is because it is more of a retake setup. Once they get into sight and get the bomb down, they're going to be trapped. With this wall, the guys in A main cannot help out the people on site, and the people on site can't help out A main. The real gimmick comes into play with this one-way. This spot right here is super safe, and as you have a retake setup, you want to be super safe in order to retake with your team. Your drop is covered and you can push through this side or push through A main. When using this one-way, you can molly this triangle over here and it will open the door, or you can molly deep and then flank A main and they might just think that your utility opened the door. This is how it looks from this side. For your wall, you want to come into this corner over here and look at the middle of this white trapezoid. For your orb, step into this corner here with the buy barrier and look at the right side of this rope. When the barrier goes down, you want to put the curve of your left HUD over this rock so it fully covers it, and have your crosshairs still on the right side of this rope. This one is very precise. This will be a more generic setup. You just want to put your wall onto this diagonal so it will cover these two corners by A main. Once again, this wall they have to run through 3 times in order to actually get onto site. For your orb, you just want to come here and put it right on the ledge so you can collect it easily if they're on B site. Fracture B, this one's a weird one. The utility is pretty spread out, and this B main wall looks a little bit weird. It still functions as a wall and covers for B main, but its main purpose is to let you lurk. When you use this wall and put it up, you can come into this right side over here for free and wait for your opponents to come to you. You can expect them to swing your wall and be close to you right over here, but if they're not here, you can lurk into their spawn for free. I would only try this after using this wall for 2 or 3 rounds. Before you do that, I'd suggest you come over here into arcade and try to get a kill over here with this orb. Anyone over here would generally be looking at arcade over your orb. You can also sneak yourself underground into tunnel over here. For your wall, you want to come into tower over here and use the left side of your left HUD and put it in the middle top of the A. And for your orb, you want to come into this corner over here and then look at the top of this particularly big leaf, and you can just left click that. Here's my more generic defense setup. You want to come into this corner and look at the top corner of this green box over here. When the round starts, you can just throw your orb B main. Your setup will look something like so. If you don't want this portion of the wall, you can come into this corner over here and do pretty much the same wall. With this wall, I like to play this right angle over here or the left side of the wall inside tower or arcade. Bind day, I like to switch it up a lot. Sometimes I'll throw my orb to the right of the paper over here. Sometimes I'll throw it far deep into A short. If I stay alive and end up giving up A short, I can throw this retake wall to help me hold U-haul and showers better. This wall also makes it so that in order to plant they have to swing through my wall. On top of that, showers players cannot help out A short players. For this wall, you want to stand at the right side of the doorway and U-haul and just aim at the showers entrance. Here's the one way for U-haul. Stand under this lamp and just look in the middle of the square. No way they'd take U-haul with that up. Generic showers one way. Less generic showers one way. Stand in this corner and look at this small line over here. Put your crosshair right in the middle of it. You can use this like the usual one way, holding this corner, or you can push up with it. When you push up, don't activate it yet. Sneak yourself into this corner over here, and then you can use that one way as bait. With this one way over here, the enemies will think that you're holding this corner when you're actually over here. This is my go-to setup for B site. You have a one way over here by garden, and you have this wall that stretches from hookah all the way to long. If you put the wall up immediately at the start of every round, you can grab this orb for free. Watch out for neons though. Generally, I can get around 4 ults on defense side. With this wall, you can quietly jump into hookah if you hear them in hookah. I also like to play the surprise angle long over here instead of the 2 corners. This is because as they swing, they generally look into this deep corner over here. This is a super ratty spot over here. You can hide in your one way and anyone who's entering from garden or hookah can't see you. drop your one way for free kills. For this wall, you want to stand around the middle of this box and then look towards this far corner in long. Big thanks to Brush, I believe this is one of his old one-ways. Stand next to this wooden post and follow this horizontal line all the way to this vertical line. And then right where this horizontal black line meets this vertical black line, you can do a jump right click. Once again, looks like this. On Breeze, my setup looks like so. With this orb and wall placement, there's a little cubby you can stay in right here as Sova drones or sky dogs, and then you can move yourself into this corner that was cleared and then wait for your wall to go down. If you know where the enemy chamber trip is, you can adjust your wall accordingly to help your team flank. For this wall lineup, you want to come to this corner over here and then look towards the middle of the entrance of A main. For your orb, you want to aim between these two dots. You have a black dot over here and a white dot over here. This B wall is really nice if you don't actually play B or if the enemy team likes to push mid. It's very simple, just make sure if they're pushing B main and your teammates are mid that this wall isn't up. This wall is nice because you can throw it from spawn and help your team even if you don't play B. For this lineup, you want to come to this wooden plank over here and then ping this tiny wall right over here by tunnel. And then you want to look right on top of that ping with your wall. Don't aim any higher than this, otherwise you will have this wall on nest and your nest player will not be happy. Don't aim lower than this, otherwise you won't have a wall. Now onto Icebox A. This one's scary. I tried my best to cover literally every angle I could, and it also has a little bonus feature. With this setup, there's a one-way that you can use from a whole bunch of different angles. You can use it from maze, screen, your nest, and sight. If you use it from sight, you can actually see the enemy through your minimap. I'm not going to go over how this works, but I'll link a video in the description and put a card over here if you're interested. This one-way and wall will cover belt, nest, pipe until they're very exposed, and the entrance to sight. From this angle, all you really have to worry about is someone swinging through your wall down here or from height. One of your teammates can quite easily watch belt from wherever. This wall lineup is actually very precise. I use high graphics to help me see these lines better. Stand in this corner, and on this line I'm looking at right here, there's triangles and sets of threes. Look at the third set of triangles and look at the leftmost triangle over here with the left side of your left HUD. Place the tip of your HUD right over that triangle. For your orb, lean against this barrier over here and stand on this white line. Look around over here and there's two black horizontal lines in the ceiling over here. You want to look at the second one and see where it meets this white line over here. Make sure your crosshair is over this vertical white line. If you want to, you can also use this setup and you can grab your orb if they go B. All you have to do is worry about belt, which you still have a wall. For this lineup, stand next to the screen box and look in the corner of the triangle and a bit to the right. There are two orbs I use for Icebox B main. The first is this one you're seeing, and the other is this one. I like to use the first front orb if your wall doesn't cover right here. Your orb in turn will cover that for you. This makes a super strong retake setup. If you like a wall that goes deeper into B main and covers the front part, I suggest the second deeper orb. To do the front orb, come into this corner and look at the bottom middle of this black shape. For this further orb, you want to look at this corner on the screen box and a little bit to the left. I like this wall lineup. Come under this snow piece over here and look at this first circle in this white rectangle. This will cover the doorway in B main. Some people don't like covering the door so they can isolate fights, that's up to you. And this orb is like a safety measure for you to fall back and to retake with. With this wall, you can play up close into both cubbies, or you can bait the orb to try to get a kill. You can jump up to get an off angle, and you may even be able to hide from the Sova drone if you play behind this wall. I like smoking the door like this because they have to swing through and they can't see much. You can also molly the back and play like this. You can also just throw an orb down and not set anything up in case they go A. This way you can save your wall and your orb for retake. If they do end up coming B, you can just throw your wall to help defend the site. It's not the best for retake, but it will still help you. Haven A, here's your generic wall for covering A to B.
Toxins going up.
Pretty much the same if you do it B to A.
Toxins going up.
With any wall, make sure you're not blocking your teammates when they don't want to be blocked. Here's a spicy A setup. Hey, this wall blocks the cross, don't put it up then. Don't care about the cross, then put the wall up. Peeking short, might want to put the wall up. Why do all these YouTube tutorials have one-ways that they can't grab easily? Learn a lineup that puts it on the edge. Yeah, this orb will cover short really well and the wall will cover long. For the orb, come into this barrier over here, look at this square on the box and then do a jump right click. For the wall, come into this corner over here and aim your wall in between the entrance of window. Oh yeah, there's an orb here. B site. Go to C site and throw this wall for mid. The wall will touch the corner of the window. At the start of the round, if they don't spam, you can quickly hold this wall and see people swing through. If they're pretty quiet, they like to hide behind this wall over here. You can wait for them to swing through or you can drop your wall. If they're going B, you can push out garage. If they're going garage, you can push out B. In general, you can just push out B and get into this rat corner. Finally, Haven C. This looks weird. Generally, retake setups kinda look weird or bad. Haha, another one of my gimmicks. Over here is a very ratty angle which people do not check and people will not see up until they are really close to the wall and probably won't check anyways. You will see all of them far before they see a tiny sliver of you. Does this actually work? Yes. If you see them swing through your wall, they are isolated and you can drop your orb to take the fight. They will not be expecting this. And yeah, this is very ready. For the lineup, you want to stand over this rectangle and then aim at the bottom of this square. For your orb, stand over this rectangle over here and just plop it down. Once again, looks like so and gives you backside control. If you want to hold the push in, there's a one-way there. For plat, step into this corner, use the left side of your right HUD onto the circle over here. It will look like this. And you can just smoke deep. And that's all the setups I have for this video. Thank you all for watching. Next week's montage is going to be absolutely crazy, so please stay tuned for that. This video was a pain, so please like and subscribe. Comment which setups you liked or didn't like. And thank you all so much for watching.